Welcome to the best branding podcast for women. I'm your host Kirande, and I invite you to join me on my journey to explore how women can use personal branding to get hired or attract new customers, raise money to scale your business. I want to boost women's voices and companies. So whether you like it or not, you are your brand. The way you talk, walk, what you post on social media, the way you introduce yourself, your title on LinkedIn, everything you do online and in real life contributes to how people perceive you, how they see you, and what they think of you. In this episode, I'm interviewing Andreea Marinescu. Andreea helps entrepreneurs to successfully raise money to scale their business. Andreea, welcome to this new podcast series on branding for women. You actually have a PhD in IT engineering and still lead a software development company in Europe. How did you manage to rebrand yourself from an expert in IT to being an expert in investing in tech companies?
Thank you very much for having me here. It's a pretty interesting story. I wanted actually to be teacher in the university, but I gave up after the first 2 years of the PhD. I've been working like a software engineer for 10 years. And during pandemic, I saw actually an opportunity to become entrepreneur. So I started to have my own team to provide IT software consulting services to the companies. I was thinking, okay, I will not go on the market to hunt clients. I will bring clients around me. All the tech companies nowadays are looking to raise capital in order to scale their business. What I did was to implement a strategy and growth program aiming to help companies which are looking to raise capital. So I started to provide some help for them. And because all the companies need IT engineers and I had this resource, so I become also a vendor for those companies.
Wow, that's really smart. You helped your future clients, potential clients, with raising capital so that they can scale their business and use your IT services along the way. So, to enlarge your market, you launched a dynamic strategy and growth program from Dubai. How long did it take you to get clients via that route?
When I started to work with big companies to help them to raise the capital, there were a long process. Usually the companies are not ready to raise the capital because they don't understand the entire process. And the process can be between 6 and 12 months. So let's say I get my first client through the strategy I mentioned after 1 year.
And how can someone looking for extra capital find venture capitalists who are willing and able to invest in their tech companies?
There are a few ways to find the VCs. And I'm actually trying to teach companies how you can get in touch with investors. And LinkedIn is one of the best platforms to get in touch with them. But you have to know exactly how to do it in order to be sure that will be a success. And the first step that you have to do is to look for warm introduction. When somebody who already raised capital from a VC, they know each other, and you approach that company, that CEO. So try to reach them and tell them about your idea and what are you doing. So pitch your idea first in front of the CEO of the company. And I'm pretty sure that if you convince them that you are a serious person, they will go for a warm introduction. But before you go for the warm introduction, the best way to succeed is also to look for the proper investor, because you will not go to look for an investor who usually is focused on Series A when you are a pre-seed company, right? And they invest in different verticals like health tech, edutech, fintech. And also, it's very important the region where you are located, because some of them are focused on some regions. So, first of all, do your due diligence. Check exactly the VCs you are looking for. Afterwards, look for a warm introduction.
So, in the ideal situation, you manage to get a warm introduction to the right type of venture capitalist or VC.
And if you don't get the warm introduction, try to approach them directly, but be sure that you know exactly what they are investing and text them a very short message. I was looking over your page and I see that you are investing in X, Y, Z, and I'm doing this. I would love to talk with you and give you more information if you would like to listen to me. And also there are some other ways like attending a lot of networking meetings, attending also different summits like an exhibitor, and try to check out who will be the investor who will come to those summits, and try to approach them before and tell them, look, I will be there and I'm doing this. Would you like to come to visit us and talk about our business? And definitely they will get in touch with you if they look for start.
So essentially what you're saying is that you use LinkedIn to get a warm introduction to a venture capitalist. And it's important that the VC in question is in fact investing in your industry, and also try to take the relationship as quickly offline, or at least a phone call, which is very much in line with what I keep saying. Even though I am a digital marketeer, I say the real magic happens offline. Your digital presence only is there as support, as a business card of what you're doing in real life. Now, I was talking with a woman who spends a lot of time on LinkedIn to promote her tech business. To what extent is that really needed? Whenever you're approaching a VC firm via their website, they always ask for your LinkedIn profile. What are the VCs actually looking at on your LinkedIn profile?
This is a very important question. And LinkedIn is very important. I'm also an investor myself. Usually I invest small ticket in very early stage startups. And very early stage, you will not invest in an idea. We invest actually in people, the people that would run that business. The LinkedIn profile shows your experience in the domain that you are working on and where you would like to develop the business. Actually, I was talking with somebody in the morning who tried to recommend a startup, and the founder of the company, the CEO, it's actually a person who made some posts a few months ago about the fact that she lost a lot of money trying to get in touch with some IT engineers to develop her software at the beginning. And for me, this was a red flag because I understood that the person doesn't have any clue about IT and how she can develop a successful application. So I really advise companies to post about their progress, because the investors may not be interested in investing in them, but seeing their progress, they will see that they are really serious. And this is what actually the VCs are looking for. This is what they want.
Oh, this is so interesting, because it's the opposite strategy of what I'm doing now that I'm dipping my toes into personally branding myself and this new podcast series. I actually share content that I hope that is valuable to other women in the world. Whereas if you are an entrepreneur and looking to raise capital for your business, it's better to document all the mini and large milestones that you've reached, showing your progress, also behind the scenes, people you've met, to showcase how committed you are and capable you are of growing a business. Now, these type of posts of showing I was at the so-and-so conference generally do not elicit a lot of engagement, not a lot of likes and comments. To what extent do investors actually look at these engagement indicators and how many followers a person has?
Not actually. Of course, it's easier when the people know you and they will approach you, because if you will go on the market, first of all, you have to validate yourself in front of them. When they will come to you, you do not have to do anything because they already know you.
Please allow me to quickly introduce you to the sponsor of this episode, The Nine. The Nine is Belgium's first female-focused members club. I've been a member for nearly a year, and it has completely changed my experience of working as an independent woman in Brussels. And I'll tell you why. The clubhouse is absolutely stunning and functions as a co-working area. I frequent the club at least twice a week, even if it means that I have to walk in the rain and have to take a metro. Two activities I very much despise. There's also a bar and garden and a restaurant, and there are different meeting rooms, including one to record a podcast, which is quite ideal. Throughout the week, there are multiple cultural, social and professional events. But what really stands out for me is the ambience. All the members are so friendly, and we're also always ready ready to help one another. Whether you're happy or down or need someone to give you an extra push, you can always find a cheerleader. If you're curious, send me a DM on LinkedIn or take a look at the calendar on the9.be and register to attend an event as a guest. I hope to see you there. Investors don't necessarily invest in ideas, but are more looking at the person or the team.
Usually, I'm looking for the perfect trio. I'm looking for somebody who has skills in tech and somebody who has skills in business and also in sales and marketing. This is the perfect trio in a tech company in order to succeed.
Now, Andrea, you yourself once wrote on your LinkedIn profile a post that stated this: I've come to realize that your business is truly a reflection of yourself. Can you elaborate on that post?
Yes, I had a revelation actually about this subject when I realized that last year I was bankrupt with two of my businesses. And I realized that the reason why it happened this is just because of me. You have to be very aware about what is your goal, the vision, and afterwards to implement the right strategy. On your journey like an entrepreneur, you will face a lot of issues, but which makes you a successful entrepreneur is the way you behave against the problem that you face. You will be able actually to pass over all the problems if you are properly educated in terms of running a business, area of activity. If you don't understand the financial stuffs about your company, if you don't understand how your clients behave, definitely in the end, you will lose your business.
What would you advise a business owner on how to improve her entrepreneurial skills?
What you can do is to improve your skills by coaching, mentoring, educate yourself, go to schools. There are a lot of programs nowadays in order to make you be the proper entrepreneur. Anyway, there will be a lot of problems during your activity and you will learn from them, but at least try to be prepared to know how to react against the risk that will appear.
So, PitchBook data showed that less than 3% of all capital raised goes to women led companies. What are your thoughts on this? And what can women do to raise more capital successfully?
It's a very good question, and I was also very surprised. Actually, I heard it when I attended an event organized by AWS. From my experience, what I can tell you is that I've been working with over 30 startups, and from those 30 startups, just two of them actually were founded by women. Therefore, if the proportion is not equal, you cannot tell for which reason they don't receive the money. I would love to learn more about it because if there is a reason behind, I would love to know it and support in this regard.
Different psychology studies show that men and women behave differently, also in a professional setting. One clear example is that women tend to be better at investing because they are not so overconfident compared to their male counterparts. So, from this point of view, it makes sense that there are also less women looking to raise capital just because they are more humble. This may explain a small part of why less capital goes to women's businesses. What would you advise to women to actually seek external investments, and how can they make the first steps towards successfully raising capital? Now, while editing, I realized that my question may have been insinuating that it's the women's fault that they can't raise capital. I want to empower women, and definitely more things need to change. More investors need to trust women's capabilities in running companies, and there are special funds that really give women a fair chance at raising capital. On the top of my head, in the US, there's Arlen Hamilton's fund, and also Serena Williams' company invests in women. In Europe, FemInvest is a big player. Let's listen what Andrea has got to say about this.
I have a mentoring program who helps startups to raise capital from zero. They will understand exactly how they have to raise the money, to approach the investor, to formulate the problem that they will solve and the solution. Also, the business model, how to negotiate with investor, how to pass through the due diligence process.
So to all the women who run a tech company, whether it's fintech, edutech, health tech, I believe they should reach out to you. How can they reach you?
They can find me on LinkedIn. I'm Andreea Marinescu, and on my website, andreamarinescu.com. And they will find what I'm doing and the programs I'm running.
Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and sharing your time with us, Andreea. I truly hope that women feel more at ease in raising capital and grow their business. Is there still a final remark you would like to make to women?
Yes, nowadays in 2024 is not an easy period to raise capital, but doesn't mean it's impossible.
And that, my friends, is the first episode of the Best Branding Podcast for Women. I hope you enjoyed it. Future episodes include how to rebrand yourself, how to align your company brand with your personal brand, how to niche down and position yourself as a niche company. So I hope you stay tuned, subscribe, follow, leave a comment on LinkedIn. And my website is kirande.com, Kirande, where you will also find a library full of valuable tools and worksheets on how to improve your personal branding and maintain your sanity along the way. Here from the 9 in Brussels, I wish you a very lovely rest of the day. Salut!